Yo, how's everyone doing? Good to see you. I could see you in the comments. Who was first? Imi in the comments first. The Queen has arrived. Great to see you. Hey, Mum. Always lovely to see you in the comments. Thank you for supporting your favourite son. I appreciate that. Especially now my brothers have stopped doing their daily live. I'm just going to completely monopolise this. It's really good. I'm just expecting all their fans rolling over here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I think everyone's back to work now and back to normal, so it's going to be difficult for people to watch this many streams now. Who else we got in the comments? Maggie, great to see you. Steve-O, is he in? I said Steve-O for the wrong Steve there. Steve, mate, High Pointers, good to see you, man. Oh, man. Bear with me a sec. Just bear with me. So tonight's show, we've got a band from Manchester joining us called Cultures, and we were just trying to work out then, have we played shows together? And it turns out we have, which is really cool. So we've got Tom and Josh joining us, and they sounded awesome during sound check. So I'm really looking forward to bringing the guys on, and we'll hear what they've got to say, and obviously talk about lockdown and music and all that good stuff. Just bear with me though, I forgot to post out on Facebook like an absolute plant pot. So how's everyone's day been anyways? Has everyone had a good day? What's everyone up to? There we go. Big up Cultures. That's it. They'll be on really soon. Hi April. If I haven't said hello already, sorry. Steve-O, great to see you, mate. It's not normal in the US. I wonder what's happening in the US. Like, what's going on? Because I watch a lot of like YouTube, American YouTubers, like what's his name? Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat and a guy called Dan Mace, I think. I can't remember his surname. And John Hill. And they all seem to be like just running around like know what's going on. So who knows? Maybe you could fill us in, April, and let us know how things are. It's crazy in the US. I'm in Florida right now, and numbers are way up. People waiting in the cars to drive for testing 7 to 8 hours before. Wow. 7 to 8 hours. That's crazy. Well, I think we just need to everyone needs to just take this whole situation and err on the side of caution. You know, 4th of July, is it, that things start to open? It's going to be crazy, innit? Right, I'm going to play a tune because I said that the guys would be on between 7 minutes to 9 minutes, so I've got a little bit of time to play a song. I'm going to play an Old City of Lights song. Bars were closed back up again here because couldn't. Oh, sorry, the bars were closed back up again. Wow, I read that wrong. So they opened and then they closed again. I mean, you can only do what you can do within your sort of circle, your family and all that sort of stuff. You've got to look after yourself, look after your family, and then spread it out to further. Probably the word spread it is the wrong word during a pandemic, but you know what I mean. Share the love, and then eventually, hopefully, the community will sort of stick together and overcome it, I guess. Surround yourself with people that you love. Don't separate yourself from everyone. And just because to be alone is not enough, and none should know I've been there before. Life's too short. Ooh, is there anybody out there? Ooh, is there anybody you know you can trust? Ooh, we just wanna be happy. Don't be scared, don't be scared. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Still try the best you can and give it everything. Not to mention we're scared to fail. We all have higher hopes, should never let them go. It's nice to see that smile upon your face. It's nice to see how much you've changed. And just because to be alone is not enough, and I should know I've been there before. And life's too short. Whoa, is there anybody out there? Sweet. Okay, so that's my part of the show done. I'm really looking forward to hearing some tunes from Cultures. I was listening to their Spotify today, and they've got some absolute bangers. So let's bring them on the show. If the guys are ready, then we can jump right into it. If they give me maybe a thumbs up or some wave. Oh, they've done a wave and thumbs up. Cool. Let's go right into it. Okay, here we go. Yo.
Hello.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. How's it going? That was
I'm very well.
By the way.
So we've got Josh and Tom. What's that? Sorry?
I just said that was a great track. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, man.
I
Cheers.
presume it's not the first time I've heard it because obviously we've gigged together, it turns out.
I know that it's quite funny that we were just like, have we played some shows together? And then we were kind of just like working it out, and through Manchester-based promoter Dusty Pop, we have. We established that we have, which is pretty cool. But obviously, you guys were, you're quite busy when it comes to gigging. You're quite an active band, at least when there's not a pandemic on, you are. So you know, it was bound to happen that we were going to cross paths at some point. So yeah, I just find it quite funny that we're kind of both, or all three of us, are just scratching our noodles, going, "Have we? Have we? Maybe, kind of, a little bit," and then it turns out we did. So that's pretty cool. So how are you finding the whole COVID situation? Are you doing okay? You know, are you sort of like making do with the whole situation? Have you settled in?
Yeah, we've kind of got used to it. We've kind of tried to use it for the best of our ability. Obviously, the music industry at the minute is really, really suffering.
Yeah.
In the UK, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but I know definitely the UK. There's so many venues that are currently struggling. We've kind of tried to make it a positive as best possible. We've kind of been writing as much as possible. We've been Zoom calling with our drummer James, and kind
Cool.
of just trying to do as much as possible, and use the time that we've had off to kind of, when we can finally play to you guys, yeah, like be able to play you as much new material as possible. And Josh has been doing a couple of Facebook and Instagram lives, and he's really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. It's not been easy, but you got to make the most of it. We've all been well, so sort of past the health point of view, it's just a kind of inconvenience, which sounds a bit heartless because obviously a lot of people have lost their lives, but in our situation, we're all well, our families are well, and from the band's perspective, we've just got to mix, record,
Yeah.
and just mess around as much as we can with the tools you've got, which is obviously limited, but do the best you can.
Absolutely. Really sorry. I knew this would potentially happen. Remember I mentioned to you about the
Yeah,
volume situation and
of course.
how the community are absolutely on it, and they're just like, too quiet, turn up, guys. So if we can hear you loud and clear, then hopefully they will let us know.
Cool.
Is this any better?
Oh, that is loud now. That's nice.
Nice, that's good.
Cool.
Thanks for
So-
spotting it, everyone.
Yeah, they're good like that. They are. So I think obviously, yeah, the music industry is kind of a bit on its head right now, isn't it? Obviously, the whole pandemic, every industry is a little bit sort of thrown up in the air, and just kind of seeing what happens now really is kind of everyone's guess is as good as the next kind of thing. But the music industry itself is really, I think, it's crippling at the moment for even majors, major labels and major artists, and right the way to small dive bars and all that kind of thing. I'm really interested to see like how, if at all, we're going to be able to recover from it. Really, like in long term, like I think it's going to totally change the way that we see music, for the foreseeable future. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, or if you've got any views on what's going on in that respect.
Yeah, well, I feel like everything that's great about live music and music in general is the kind of togetherness that it can give you. I mean, my
Yeah.
best memories of growing up around Manchester were like going to gigs at Def or the Academy or all these venues, often tiny little venues with people just
Yeah.
packed in. And like whatever the guy in front of you has had for his lunch, you can taste it in his sweat. Like it is intimate going
Yeah.
to a good gig, and it should be, and that should be something that
Yeah.
we can all enjoy, being close together and sharing something in common, which is music. The problem, obviously, with social distancing is that you can you can start thinking about bars and restaurants and stuff like that from a UK point of view. That's what we're doing this weekend, but I can't see how gigs are going to be able to get back up and running anytime soon, and I'm really worried that this is going to drag on through the summer. We're going to end up with like no festivals except for the odd online show, which is nice. You can reach a big audience with the internet, but
Yeah.
it misses something when you're watching Glastonbury on the BBC iPlayer rather
Yeah.
than being there. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be not months. I think it'll be years before we get a kind of normality. And then there's the business aspect. So
Yeah.
even if it's safe by next summer to be doing festivals, how many labels and bands will have gone under and had to call it a day because if it's not making money, it becomes a hobby. not a
Yeah.
job, and you can't make money if you're not selling tickets. So it's
The
a
other
scary
aspect of
time.
the other aspect of that I've been thinking about is essentially like your larger companies, like Live Nation and and things like that. Their overheads right now are huge. The amount of staff and manpower that they've had, that the employees and stuff like that across the board for them to cater for the amount of shows that they're putting on. If they have to downsize, like, they're either going to have to double, triple the cost of a show for the public to cover the cost of what it would normally cost them to piece a show like that together. Because a show at the arena at half capacity, it still costs the same to put that same production on and that kind of stuff. It blows my mind, and I try to get my head around it. I wonder if this is like an opportunity for smaller labels and smaller promoters and kind of the underdog people in the industry to come up with solutions, because their costs are a lot lower. They're able to give their 2 cents and just be like, this is what I think we should do, and then pitch it out and put on really cool little intimate underground shows and stuff like that. I don't know. It's been on my mind a lot recently, and it's really interesting to hear what other people's thoughts are on it and stuff. In general, but like, yeah, the idea of no festivals is scary, man. It's like 100,000 people at Glastonbury, and there's just not a chance in hell that's going to happen anytime soon. It's
No,
mental.
I think it's crazy. I think, I know, like for us, like we had to cancel some headline shows
Yeah.
in April, and I don't even see how like just small little venues can kind of open up and it be cost effective for them.
Yeah.
Because they're still gonna have to put like bar staff on, like
Yeah,
security,
absolutely, yeah.
and then say, I don't know, a 300 cap venue is now down to what, 150 or even like 120.
Yeah.
The cost of the tickets are gonna have to be higher just to cover everyone's costs.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, it's not like we do the gigs for money. We don't. We do it because we enjoy showing off showing our songs.
Yeah,
And
of
like
course, yeah.
but at the same time, it becomes not viable for us as well, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Because we're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
like 50 quid back, and then that's maybe just the cost of the van.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's like, great, all them practices and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it's just, it's crazy. I don't know. It's one of them where I don't know whether little bands maybe it can help them more because they can push through. But then you have, with the same like before this, like you have to have that small financial backing, even if it's just for your job, to be able to continue. And I think bands that are disadvantaged in that circumstance, and they don't really have that much money to put forward, they're going to be the ones that are probably going to, in 6 months' time, be like, oh, we can't do it anymore. And they could be the next big thing.
Yeah, but what I do find interesting about it, kind of, we'll just touch on this a little bit. You were talking about like live streaming and stuff. I feel like musicians themselves have really stepped up to the plate and entertained the masses across the any platform, social media wise, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. And I feel like they've really stepped up and done their part to keep people entertained, distracted, however you want to see it. I don't know. It's one of those. It's quite a tough time, anyways. So, but I also feel like the opposite of that. The general public have completely embraced it as well, and like really stepped up to actually encourage and champion new music and like go watch other artists that they probably might not have gone to see live and that sort of stuff. And I think that could open up a whole new fan base for a lot of bands. I think that's quite an interesting one. Like, have you done much streaming yourself? Like, Josh, you said you've done a little bit.
We got Josh to do a few different ones, and we got like a couple of fans from like Brazil and all these different places that we would never in the next couple of years see ourselves even go into Brazil, just because it costs too much to get there. So they've managed to see our music now.
Yeah.
Which has been a great thing about the internet, and I know you said
amazing.
you've enjoyed it. It's not the same, but
yeah, there's something a bit different about it. It feels more like you're just kind of playing for your own sake because of the environment you're in.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of nerves before you go and do a kind of live stream, because
Yeah.
obviously you kind of have the world watching, the public watching, and
Yeah.
and all of that, but it's not quite the same as being there kind of under the lights and doing your sound check and
Yeah.
going through those processes that build up to a show that make you feel a certain way, whether it's nerves or excitement. You don't get the same kind of level of nerves or excitement, but it's an opportunity, and it's something that I think now with hindsight, not enough bands were taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because maybe you're doing a gig every week or couple of days depending on how big you are, but more people probably should have been trying to squeeze in live sets, because I don't reckon it would stop
Do you mean
anyone
before
going
the
to a gig.
pandemic or now?
Yeah.
Yeah, before the pandemic.
I 100% agree with that. That's exactly how. Like, if it wasn't for this pandemic, I wouldn't have gone live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. But because of this situation, obviously, you kind of try adapt and you try come up with a solution as to fill that little void. But like I think this is like 96 streams in a row now, 96 days.
Wow.
So I've really taken it on board and just totally embraced it and just ran straight into it. But like everyone else is doing, I love the fact that like I must watch a daily, like someone else's stream pretty much every day. You know what, and through musicians that I know or through someone that I've just sort of stumbled across, that kind of thing. It's absolutely amazing. And you're dead right. I think this platform, this medium has been here all along. We've just not used it to its full capacity because we've been out playing, Deaf Institute or, local venues or even touring around the country, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
When really you could have reached people in Brazil before the pandemic.
I know. I think what I was thinking or started to think when we started to do it was, unless you're on you've got like an A&R and label behind you and they're telling you to kind of like to do this as well, they're the only bands that I've ever seen kind of ever do live streams before. Like there's one band like Larkins,
Yeah.
they automatically before the pandemic they were literally doing this, but other than them I can't think of a band from Manchester that because I follow quite a lot of the underground scene. I can't think of any.
Larkins are smashing it, aren't
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely smashing it. We've known them for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And they've absolutely grown like massively over the last 2 years.
they?
Yeah. Oh
Definitely.
yeah, like the last year, because I think we played. Did we play with them about 3 years?
3 years ago, Dot to Dot.
Ah, yeah. Oh God, was that
Dot to Dot with Giant Rooks as well.
Yeah, so we played with Giant Rooks and Larkins, and they've just gone from like strength to strength. I remember watching them and thinking, I thought we were a good unsigned band. I thought, we were doing all right, and we, had our chances to push forward, and then they came and played the same gig as us and just blew us away. And it was like, okay, that's the new level. That's what we kind of need to be
That's
aiming
cool.
for with our live show. But to be fair, I was kind of proved right because they've pushed on really well. So, if they'd been floundering, then I'd be looking at them and thinking we should give up, because if they're as good as they are and they're not getting anywhere, then we have no hope. But they have really pushed forward, and
Yeah.
we all support each other as well.
Because that's something that we do a lot when not in pandemic stage, is kind of go and see unsigned bands and like we look at like our live set to their live set and what's different and how can we improve our set so that the fans get like. For us, it's not just our live set isn't just about us kind of playing the songs. It's about kind of giving a full performance for that full ticket money of whatever it may be.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. That's something that I used to do with my old band as well, is like you would think about production and the show itself and like transitions between songs and stuff like that. I just find it's more than just a 3-minute song and then another 3.5-minute song and a 4-minute song and stuff like that. It's quite in depth really when you get into it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we get a tune from you guys? Whilst you guys are playing, if anyone's got any questions and you want to put any questions to Josh or Tom in the comments, please start your question with a Q so I can find it nice and easy. If not, no worries. I'm sure I'll stumble across it. But until then, do you want to maybe play us a song?
Yeah, let's do that.
What were you planning on doing tonight? Are you doing all originals? Are you doing any covers? What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
do
Originals.
all originals.
What should we do first?
Sweet.
What
Should we do our current single,
Yes. Oh, away from us.
Away From
Yeah.
Us?
Okay. So yeah, to introduce it, this is Away From Us. You can get it everywhere, Spotify, etc. And it's our newest single. We remixed it over the lockdown periods. That was the first project that we kind of did over Zoom and WhatsApp calls and stuff. So yeah, you can check
Sweet.
out the fruits of that labour online.
Nice
and
one.
Here, right now.
Before you start,
Yeah.
I'm concerned. Obviously, we turned up the vocals, so hopefully it doesn't
True.
peak out too much.
Do you want to turn down?
Should we just be err on the side of caution with it? Let's see if we can run through the song without changing it up every single time, but just maybe back off the mic a touch,
Yeah.
or even just push it slightly away from you. I don't know. Just
We'll do a bit of both.
yeah, we'll work it out as we go, guys. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
Nice one. I'll make you full screen. Enjoy. I'll speak to you soon.
Let the ground crumble away from us as we leave this place for the first and the very last time. Where's the fun in feeling safe? Don't leave me here, I'm on my own, and you're my home. Hey, you're my home now. You're my home now. In the end, there's nothing left to say, but still, you whisper to me. Take your shoes and your coats off, babe, 'cause we're still alive. And although we'll never be the same again, there's nothing wrong with letting some parts die. Don't leave me here, I'm on my own, and you're my home. Hey, you're my home now. You're my home now. In the end, there's nothing left to say, but still, you whisper to me. Hey, you're my home now. You're my home now. In the end, there's nothing left to say, but still, you whisper to me. Hey, you're my home now. You're my home now. In the end, there's nothing left for you to say, but still, you whisper to me.
Good work, lads. Love it.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
I love that tune as well. So that's your latest single that you've just put out, which is available on all digital platforms, I'm guessing, because I was listening to it on Spotify. So is it on everything?
Yes,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Brilliant. And that's a re-release, did you say? You
Yeah.
remixed that.
I remixed it. Got a bit bored. And we've been talking about it. So we got a new drummer, James, last November, and we've been talking about kind of our set and stuff and songs. And we all just agreed that the original mix of it, we just weren't quite happy with all aspects. So
Yeah, well, you say the original. We had a kind of demo version of it originally that we did kind of not years ago, but
Uh-huh.
when we first wrote the song, we really liked it. It was kind of very rough and ready. It was very sort of dynamic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it just had drive. People seemed to enjoy it, and then we recorded it, and everything about the recording was just kind of almost too clean. My
All right.
vocals were quite kind of clean and exposed, and it felt like it slowed down a bit somehow.
Yeah.
It was more professionally recorded, but it had less of that like just
Live
kind of
feel, that,
rawness
you know,
and
yeah, I
fun that we were
understand.
putting into it.
We
And
wanted
yeah,
that slight bit of grit.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the live version was always closer to the original, the demo.
Yeah.
So we felt like we'd taken a sidestep from that with the first recording of it. So that was kind of your main lockdown project. Was right. I've got a bit of time to just get back on the Mac and start messing around with this.
So you
Back on the
remixed the professionally recorded version, or you so
The professionally.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Literally just like slashing the tires of a Lamborghini, but yeah, we had a very nice
that's a cool way of put-
professional, beautiful recording of it that we were like, it just needs a bit more grit
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
rawness to it, and you kind of took a hammer to it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
really I
Mess
do
it
like
up
that.
a bit.
I do like it. I'd
It's
be
got an
interested to
awful
hear
lot
the.
of plug-
Go ahead,
It's got
sorry.
an awful lot of plugins to like just destroy his clean vocals and stuff.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in hearing both versions, but I do like I was saying to you today. Really enjoyed the Spotify top 5 that you've put up or whatever it is. I don't know if I'm still trying to get my head around Spotify. I don't quite know how it works. Is that your top 5 played songs? Is that?
I believe that it's
Not
the top 5
quite.
played songs at the moment,
Yeah, I got you.
so it
'Cause the-
changes
'cause-
every week.
There was a really song on the Book of God. Is that the one that we were talking about earlier on?
Yeah, the deep one with the synthesizer.
So cool is that song. Sounds wicked. Really good
Yeah.
production on that as well.
We've kind of gone even bigger with that. We were messing with that the other day, weren't we? And when we play that live, it's my vocals are gonna have a kind of vocoder style thing
Oh, yeah,
going
cool.
on, and some sort of demonic version of me low down, and we had a lot of fun
Yeah.
messing
Yeah, we
with
did.
that. And yeah, it's not really like any of our other songs, though, is it? It's
No,
if you just
it's-
heard that, you would think, don't ever like these guys, or I love them, and then you'd hear the rest of our tracks and be like, oh.
I don't know. I think there's elements of, especially towards the back end of the song, as it starts to build and get a bit bigger and stuff like that. I think it's definitely suited. It wouldn't go amiss on an album. Do you know what I mean? I think to have the same carbon copy song across 12 songs, it wouldn't make for a good album. But if you were to have that and then the various of the songs on your Spotify, it makes for a great EP or a great album and stuff. So I like the dynamics of it. I wouldn't say it goes amiss, mate. I think it works really well.
Well, thanks. I'll credit you in the album.
Please do.
It'll be like
You can pay me for that later. That share.
your name as a collaborator for that suggestion.
Yeah, man, I'll take it. All right, cool. Let's have a question. We had this was bound to happen tonight because obviously with you being from Manchester, Noel or Liam?
Liam.
I was always more
Really?
Noel. I was
I'm
team
Noel.
Noel, but I don't know. He just comes across as a bit of an idiot, which Liam always has.
I know
So
that's what I thought.
you
I
just-
watched that.
I don't know. I've always accepted that Liam's a bit of an idiot and not necessarily liked him for it. But I think Noel's actually more sly. I feel like Liam's a bit of a harmless idiot.
Have
not
you
that he's
read
an
my
idiot,
brain?
but
We've
like,
never had this conversation
have we
before.
not? Is that why you said Liam?
No, but that's exactly the same reason. Because I'm a fan of Oasis. I saw them and stuff, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then they broke up, and then I was all like, Noel, it's all Noel. I'm team Noel. And then I don't know. I think it was once like Liam to me wants to try and get Oasis back together. Now whether that's just an act on Twitter and social media, don't know. But
Yeah.
for me, I feel like Noel is. I don't know. I just feel like Noel's the one that's stopping Oasis getting back together.
It's because he's making just as much money just doing it on his own.
Yeah.
True.
Didn't one of his statements was Liam's new band's the number one best Oasis tribute act out there. What a burn to your brother.
I don't know if that's true though.
Probably not. Yeah.
Not the first
No
time we've said
Oasis.
this, but no, they're far too good. We played with a band early doors, and we've told this story before.
Oh yeah, it's funny stuff.
And I'm not going to name them, but they literally were going up to people. They hadn't sold enough tickets. They were going up to people outside the academy on Oxford Road with a handful of tickets going, do you like Oasis? And when people were like, yeah, thinking like, oh wait, you know, they've broken up. What are you doing? You haven't got Oasis tickets, have you? And they were going, oh, if you like Oasis, you should come and see us. Because they came up to us. We were sitting having a drink.
And they were just giving them out.
And they were like, oh, come and see our gig. And I was like, we're headlining, mate.
Yeah.
And they were literally selling the tickets on the basis that they sounded like Oasis. We weren't sure if they really did. Then we watched their set. They sounded exactly like them and threw in about 3 covers as well. And they dressed like them. They weren't a tribute band. They genuinely were writing their own songs.
Yeah.
But
sounding like Oasis.
Their influence list literally stretched as far as Oasis and Oasis. And it was just ridiculous.
And they just
stretched as far as Noel and Liam.
Noel and Liam, yeah, and the other ones that people don't know the names of.
But yeah, Liam for me.
Yeah, I think I'm a Noel. Sorry.
It's all right.
That's fine.
We'll beg to differ.
I've just seen a comment from April saying that they're influenced by many bands that she adores. I would like to know what April's adored bands are. Who is it?
So
that you
mostly
like,
because
April?
I know where's that question? It sounds. Where is this? But yeah. What?
Yeah.
So where do you take your influence then?
Okay.
Is Oasis your influence?
No.
No.
No, we're influenced by so each member of the band has slightly different influences. So mine would be kind of Foals, Bombay Bicycle Club,
Cool.
and then going back to kind of more 80s kind of Smiths, and then looking at even like Depeche Mode, kind of Pet Shop Boys. They're more recent, kind of the synth stuff and like all the bass lines and all that deep stuff. I've just finished writing our like intro for our set. That's basically, it's just synth heaven.
Oh,
It's
cool.
just pure synths, and it's just very. Pet Shop Boys go a lot more deeper, like Book of God. So if you go and check out Book of God, the track you were chatting on about, sounds like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah, and
about you, mate?
I mean, I have a lot of the same stuff. To be fair, like Foals and Bombay Bicycle Club. That's the kind of stuff I grew up on, and going to gigs at the Academy of bands like them and the Kooks as well. Like some good times, but as well like Biffy Clyro, Kings of Leon.
Yeah, man.
And all the kind of classic bands that our lot grew up with, like the stuff you sing at people's 16th birthday party, like the Killers and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say many of these things that I'm saying kind of necessarily come out in our sound, but if I were to think about the people that made me want to be in a band, then it's people like Biffy, Kings of Leon,
100%.
that Arctic Monkeys, that sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And we must be the same age, roughly. How old are you?
I would guess so. 26 and 27.
I'm 27.
Oh, I'm older than you guys.
Oh,
I'm 31.
We'll just say we're similar age.
But we are
are,
similar age. We are. There's
roughly,
there's almost the same. It's fine.
Yeah. You look younger than us. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm knocking on a bit now. So yeah, people are saying Killers are great. Radiohead popped
Radiohead's a
up.
cracking
That's
show.
April Steele, so she's actually telling you.
April is a great choice in
she also-
music.
She also mentioned Scars and 45. They're from Bradford, and the Dunwells from Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Wicked.
Dunwells are good.
Yeah.
Yorkshire, left, right, and centre.
What a Yorkshire!
Oh, lovely.
All right, so
Should be after the Kaiser Chiefs next.
let's have another tune from you guys, if that's all right, and then we'll have any further questions. If anyone's got any questions, please get them into the comments now. But yeah, let's see what else you've got. What are you planning for us now?
Yeah, I'll do Shake.
Sweet.
We've got a song then coming up that we have recorded over the last week, 2 weeks. Never been released, so you get a bit of a sneak preview. But at some point, yeah,
Exclusive.
we're going to be putting it online.
Yeah, it should be coming out around August, September time.
Yeah, it's being
Great.
mixed, and we're going to see how it goes. So, yeah, this is called Shake.
Cool.
Shake me awake 'cause I'm dreaming of being someone new. Lay me down when you're leaving, 'cause my dreaming's never dreaming of you. There's a fire in your soul and a hole in your heart. This is out of control, now I'm tearing apart. We've been running around this dead town for a lifetime, for a lifetime. We've been running around for lifetimes in this dead town, in this dead town. 'Cause I wanna stop and shake with you in this dead town, in this dead town. I know these words, they won't come true in this dead town, in our lifetimes. Take me back to the feeling that this is all brand new. I'm so tired of waiting when my waiting's never waiting on you. There's a fire in your soul and a hole in your heart. This is out of control, now I'm tearing apart. We've been running around this dead town for a lifetime, for a lifetime. We've been running around for lifetimes in this dead town, in this dead town. 'Cause I wanna stop and shake with you in this dead town, in this dead town. I know these words, they won't come true in this dead town, in our lifetimes. There we go. That was Shake.
Banging. Love it. Oh, I'm chuffed that you got to showcase something brand new and just try it, put it out there. So have you not played that in a real live setting yet? Or have you managed to play it properly?
Yeah, well,
Well,
we opened with it. We headlined Deaf Institute a few months ago, obviously before everything
Last year.
happened. Was it last year?
it was last year,
Was it like November, something like that?
October.
That's how it
that was
feels though,
massive.
mate. Everything just
Yeah.
blurs into one right now, doesn't it? It's
I have
mental.
no. I have
October last
completely
year,
lost all sense of time.
we were quite ballsy and open with a song no one had ever heard of.
Yeah, and it was
That's
a bit
cool.
mad, and I was playing the synths a bit and the guitars a bit, and it was I don't know how well it went. And we've reworked it a little bit since then. We've worked on some of the riffs. We've added some nice guitar parts, and
Yeah.
and then obviously took it into the studio last week or the week before last. So
Yeah.
that I mean, some people have heard. One roomful of people have heard one version of it, and then you guys. So yeah, right at the start of the queue.
Wicked. That's amazing.
Amelia was there.
Amelia
So
was there.
That's good.
let's hear like this setup that I'm seeing right now. We've got an acoustic guitar and 2 vocal. What's the normal situation for a live performance? What could people expect? Like, is it a 3-piece, or do you have another couple of members as well? That
So we're a
join you on
free
stage?
we're a 3-piece now, with backing tracks. So we've created our own
Not really, well, like triggers.
triggers. The triggers.
More,
the
it would be better to say.
best.
so.
Yeah, we're not like a pop act. Like we
Yeah.
don't. We do play our
mime
instruments.
It's effectively
do-
top of the pops.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, man, like you're speaking to someone that absolutely 100% advocates for backing tracks, triggers, samples. I think bands that don't do it are going to fall behind. Every band, every large mainstream act are doing it. If you can do it on a smaller scale, obviously, you want to. That's just my opinion, by the way. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
shit, really. But at the same time, if you want to stand up like the top dogs, then why wouldn't you move with the times and do that? So fair play to you guys. You don't need to explain, feel like you need to sugarcoat it or just be confident and tell me.
It's that's what we do.
Yeah.
We don't. Basically, I tried to explain it to my mum, and she was like, "Oh right, so you're gonna be like Westlife or something." I was like, "No, mum, it's not like Westlife. Like
Put your headsets out.
we're still yeah, exactly. exactly. Not like
Yeah.
that, man.
What are you doing that? We're missing a trick.
Yeah, man.
Get some dance moves in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's normally us two and then James. James isn't with us because he isn't part of our bubble.
Yeah.
So we are socially
Bubbled.
Hanging
bubbled.
out, bubbled up,
Bubbled
bubble
up,
buddies,
bubble
bubble
loved.
buzz.
Whereas young James is not allowed within 2 meters of us.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's not with us. So yeah, there's normally 3 of us, and then a load of kind of backing tracks with them mainly being like extra synthesizers
Cool.
Yeah.
and a few guitar bits.
Yeah, in the past
So-
we've had one more guy. We had a guitarist as well, but we killed him and buried him under
Cool.
the patio, and now we use
Yep.
sample pads instead. So
It's
Yeah.
just much easier, isn't it? You
easier.
if you just call all the members and press
Yep.
play on a CD. That's the way that the music needs to go these days.
yeah, I think Tom's
Um,
next.
Yeah, Tom. Bye, Tom. Do it now.
So, yeah, this is his final
Yeah.
show with us. But yeah.
April Steele asked, explain triggers, not familiar with them. So, and then the next comment she put, so like samples. I kind of think we have elaborated on it, but if you want to maybe go into it a little bit more and just
Yeah, okay.
sort of just let
So
them-
basically, for each track that we have, so for Away From Us, for example, we play our main bit of instrument. So I play bass, Josh plays his guitar and sings,
Yeah,
and then
we have the
and the drums as well.
yeah, James is doing the drums, and we have our in-ear monitors will have a metronome going.
Yeah.
So we know we're always at exactly the right point in the song, so that when these triggers come in, that
Yeah.
they're
So
in
these-
time, and we're not playing
Yeah.
the song very fast,
So
and then
these-
a riff comes in. But
Yeah.
carry on.
So these triggers are kind of other sounds to make our sound bigger. So it's
Yeah.
a bit more closer to kind of our recorded version, and just to make the experience kind of bigger on stage than just three instruments playing.
Yeah,
I
and
quite-
it's
I-
obviously very, very difficult to replicate like the studio sound.
Yep.
And to be honest, it's not always in our best interest, like we were saying about Away From Us. Kind of live songs can often have a lot more drive to them. But when you've got, like for Flags, for example, I think we had, 120 different tracks go into
Yeah.
the song.
Yeah, 120 different.
So we've
songs,
got
tracks.
hundreds of synths and guitars and stuff just filling in, adding layers, adding depth to the sound, that then you play live and there's only 3 of you. It's really hard to get the same sound for the crowd. I mean, we can put on a reasonable show, but it's
Yeah.
just better with the
but then also
triggers.
from a I think even on a large scale perspective, doesn't matter what part of the where you are in the spectrum, the cost of having that many instruments on stage,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, essentially an orchestra, even for a large band, that's a huge overhead, you know. So on a local level, you want to be essentially, like you say, portraying yourself as best you possibly can, and sounding as close to the record as you can, but having real, authentic, live, raw elements, you know, because I like mistakes in songs, you know, vocal cracks or slight, you know, string snapping and all that sort of stuff. I think that makes for a real experience. From someone that plays to track as well, it's freaking terrifying for us playing live when something goes wrong on stage, because you don't have that leeway to pull it back, and like,
Yeah,
you know, if you miss a
you're
beat or
tied
anything,
in.
you're like, oh my god, yeah, you're totally tied in. It's scary, yeah, but it's a hard graft playing to track. So like, fair
Yeah.
play to you guys. It's, you know, it takes a lot of rehearsal time and practice, and you know, own it. I think it's
Yeah.
you're moving with the times.
I think it took us to another level live as well.
Yeah.
Like, it made us so much more tighter. I remember you
Yeah.
came. How did you see? You saw a band at Deaf Institute and they didn't get signed first time round. Half Moon Run.
Oh yeah.
And they basically, Josh spoke to them after their gig and they were like, he was like, "You're a great set." And he was like, "Yeah, we basically got told by Sony like we weren't tight enough." So we went
Oh.
home and literally practiced every song with a metronome.
Yeah.
And then they added backing tracks, and then that's how they got re-signed. They got signed.
Yeah.
Was because they
Wow.
weren't tight enough first time.
Which is very hard. It is really hard to create these layers,
Yeah.
take them, you know, sample them, literally work with the technology around music rather than just kind of playing some chords on a guitar,
yeah.
which you do as a
But-
teenager, and then you need to take a step up and work with the tech.
But what I would like to say is, what makes for a good song and a good for people like yourself that are quite clearly great musicians, is to be able to take it back to the bare bones and play it in a stream like this, or even like, with a small audience and things like that. The fact that you're able to still get through the song and make the song feel like it should do, in its stripped back environment, but then be able to take it to a larger stage and go, this is the wall of sound that we can create, but we can also do it like this as well. I think it makes for a good, you make for good musicians, good band, great, like different. You're able to put yourself into different scenarios, which is awesome. So well done, guys. Really, I think it's sick that you're doing it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have had another question actually, so let's have a look. It was, is there a gig that's been cancelled that you would loved to have played? I can't read. There you go. It was something along those lines.
We were meant to be headlining our biggest headline show in Manchester in April at Band on the Wall. Ticket sales were going really, really well as well. So we were getting even more hyped because we were like, we're actually doing really well for once. And not that we don't do well, but like we were getting quite close.
It felt big. It felt like it was going to be a massive point in our...
Close to it being full. And they pulled. Obviously, it's been pulled. And so we got Josh to
it's
play
understandable.
Yeah, of course. We
obviously
completely understand.
Yeah, it's not like a lot of people have kind of thrown their toys out of the pram a bit about, lockdown, why do I have to do what I'm told? But it's obvious why these things are being cancelled, why Glasgow's just being cancelled. Well, not just been cancelled, but why the weekend just gone should have been Glastonbury and it couldn't be. We know why, and it makes sense, but we were really ready for that gig, and it's going to be massive. And it's been tough to have that to look forward to. Play Band on the Wall. It's an iconic venue. I've seen loads of really good gigs there, so it's a really special feeling for a band our size to play a venue that we've seen people that we look up to in. Deaf Institute was one. A lot of the academies, because a lot of travelling bands will play the smaller academies, so when we're in that building, that's always special. And Band on the Wall was the same, and I was really looking forward to having that feeling of, wow, this is what it was like for them that night that I was there in the crowd. Being on the stage myself, obviously we're absolutely gutted, but we will be doing that headline.
Yeah, we'll do that
show.
We'll
eventually.
One way or another, it'll still happen. Just when you get into a situation that's
safe enough,
safe for everyone, safe for you,
exactly.
And also adhering to whatever guidelines and rules are in place. I don't know. It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
So best way for people to find out the rescheduled date would be, I'm assuming, through your social media, that kind of thing.
Yeah, all our socials we keep up to date. We post once or twice a week. So yeah, we'll definitely be letting you know.
Great.
When that's happening, and other gigs as well.
Cool. So April asked, did we say which gig we'd played together? I think we established that it was Gulliver's.
Yes.
Through a Dusty Pop thing. I think that's kind of where we got to it. We may have done others, but we're not entirely sure. Probably have to look at some posters and stuff. It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
T-shirt draw.
Oh yeah. It turns out Tom's got a City of Lights T-shirt. Woo!
Yeah, it's
Super
the
fan.
navy blue one. It's the navy blue one with the logo on the left-hand side.
Right.
There you go.
I think it's navy blue.
Sick.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Next question. Where would you guys like to be in the next 5 years? I love that question because that is like I love making a good plan. What have we got planned?
Yeah, we are planners.
We're planners.
Tom especially it loves to get things down on paper. This is where we'll be in 2 months, 6 months, whatever. So
yeah, we set ourselves a goal, like an 18-month target and goals.
Great.
And we've been properly doing that for probably the last year and a bit. So 5 years, realistically, I'd just like to be kind of playing somewhere like Manchester O2, like the O2 Apollo, somewhere like that, to be able to headline that in Manchester for me would be kind of quite special. I worked there when I was 16.
Yeah.
For 5 years. So if we were at that level to be able to play that over the UK, like all around the UK, that would be pretty special.
It's a 3,500 capacity venue, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I
Standing.
I didn't actually know that venue existed. Weirdly, I didn't know about it, and I know I've heard about it and I've seen it on
It's-
telly and
It's a
seen
myth.
but I got some free tickets to see Snow Patrol there not long ago actually. And I was like, this venue is incredible. The sound,
It's
the
beautiful.
feel of the venue, the
It's
shape of
fantastic.
everything. It just, do you know what I mean? Like, you, didn't matter where you sit in the venue or if you're down on the floor and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You've got a great view, and it was just awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
why have I not been here more?
It is fantastic, isn't it?
I've always said that like if me and Josh like make it big time, like arena size, I'd rather do 3 or 4 shows
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
Apollo than go to the arena and do 1 night or 2 nights.
Yeah, got you.
Because
I quite agree with that.
I love that intimacy like that we
Yeah.
get right now of basically feeling the fans.
I agree. I think something like the arena is not made necessarily for bands, and they might say it is, and they might say, "Oh, the acoustics are amazing," but if you've ever been to see, like going back to what I was saying before, if you've ever been in one of those shows at like the Academy or the Apollo, where it's like however many thousand people, but it's not in the tens of thousands. It's still fairly intimate, and you still
Yeah.
wherever you are, you're close to the band. You're still
Yeah.
getting covered in sweat and beer.
Yeah.
But I just feel like unless you're talking about like the pyramid stage at Glastonbury, there is a limit
Yeah.
to what works well for a band, especially our type of thing. Like someone like Coldplay, someone more on the pop spectrum that kind of fills it with, I don't know, like people with flashy wristbands on
Yeah.
and think that works well in an arena setting. I'm not sure a 3 or a 4 piece band would. Like I've seen Foals. Was I with you when I saw Foals at the
No.
Apollo? We saw the 1975 together.
Yeah,
I've seen
the
the Bombay
Apollo.
Bicycle Club there. Like the bands that I looked up to growing up, that's probably the biggest and best venue that I've seen a lot of them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I'd say 5 years. It's quite. And I think Josh from Larkins was saying like, oh yeah, my dream gig would be Pyramid Stage, Glastonbury, and a lot of people aim really, really high, and they're like, we want to conquer the world. And obviously, we want to conquer the world. You don't kind of start a band without
Yeah.
at least having that in the back of your mind, and as at least being like your dream, even if it's not realistic. But we are very realistic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we want to build up, especially in Manchester, and spread that as far as we can
Yeah.
to play those kind of O2
Yeah.
size
the only
venues.
the only piece of advice I would give, and it's only something that I've really taken on board during lockdown actually, is if you kind of shoot and aim for something bigger than what it is you're actually aiming for, then when you, or if you kind of, there are elements and things that are completely out of your control that can prevent you from getting to your target and getting to the goal. So if you overshoot and overestimate what you want, so like aim for the arena and then you'll potentially fall short, and you'll get to where you initially wanted. But like if you kind of just push for your initial goal and you fall short, you'll be, quite pissed off. But if you kind of
Yeah.
push a bit further, that's, because as you say, the sky is the limit. And maybe that's why like Larkins and stuff say Glastonbury Pyramid Stage. So then when they
Yeah.
play like the Republic stage or something, they're still buzzing because they're still playing in front of 10,000 people or something,
Yeah.
Well, then to answer your question,
A US
James
tour.
Bland, it would be to play Madison Square Garden, on Glastonbury,
And we'll see you at the Apollo.
and then we'll definitely
See what the Apollo.
see you at the Apollo.
Love it.
Yeah.
It. Right, okay, we are running over on the show. So let's have a song, and then we'll do a quick fire of the questions. We will run over a little tonight. That's kind of my fault because I've just blabbed on. I've really enjoyed listening to you and like hearing you talk about all the different aspects and stuff. So let's just get another tune from you guys, and then we'll do a quick fire, if that's all right.
Cool.
Sounds good. What
All
should
right.
Marlon?
Marlon, yeah.
Let's do
So I'll
Marlon.
just sit here and watch
Or
you.
Ghost.
Ghost.
Let's
Ghost
do
sounds
Ghost.
good.
Let's
Let's
do
do
Ghost.
Ghost.
Right. In that case, then this song's called Ghost. This is on Spotify, and we play it live, and we really enjoy it.
It's our drummer's favourite.
It's our drummer's favourite. He loves it. This is Ghost. say jump, you say no. Your head has stopped telling you which way to go. And in the candlelight you can see that you're alone. Another sad soul in disguise as a ghost. And you'll go to that dark room, and you'll take what they offer you. When you go to that dark place inside your mind, and you don't mind leaving because you stopped caring long ago. You don't mind seeing you're the last one standing here alone in the dark. She'll tell you that she never saw you as skin and bones, and she will realize you never needed someone to take you home. You never needed someone to take you home. When I say hi, you just turn your back, like everything we built has faded into black. And you'll go to that dark room, you'll take what they offer you. When you go to that dark place inside your mind, and you don't mind leaving because you stopped caring long ago. You don't mind seeing you're the last one standing here alone in the dark. She'll tell you that she never saw you as skin and bones, and she will realize you never needed someone to take you home. 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 Thank you very much.
When the Apollo goes wild. Good work.
Yeah.
Love it. Sounding great, guys.
Thank you.
Right, okay, let's do a handful of questions. I don't obviously want to rush you through them, but at the same time we are already running over, so
That's fine.
kind of
Push
quick
it,
fire,
yeah.
but just, bear it in mind. That's all.
Yeah, sweet.
So look, you'd have thought I would have got this ready, but I was just chilling and enjoying your music, man. So,
Thank you.
do you prefer small acoustic, intimate gigs or big stages?
Big stages.
Big stages.
Yeah, for me.
Do you both write the lyrics and play?
I write the lyrics, but in terms of the song and the music, that comes from a collaborative thing. So Tom might come to me with a bass riff and I'll write some guitar over it. Or I might come in with some chords and he writes some... In fact, he writes some guitar as well.
Yeah.
I've messed around with the bass.
Yeah.
James suggests stuff and we met. So the music is very much a group effort and the lyrics are mine.
Great. I feel like I know it's quick fire, but we kind of brushed past that first question. Why do you like big shows better than acoustic?
For me, the adrenaline is unreal. Like,
Cool.
if you'd have come to me about a year ago, I'd have probably been like, maybe intimate. But then
Yeah.
when we played our Deaf Institute gig and it was like packed, and like I've never had that many people actually appreciate us
Yeah.
as a band.
Yeah.
We came off stage and like you come off stage and it's like down sort of like a flight of stairs, and like me and Josh were like, what have we just done?
Or
Like
just,
literally just jumped on each other
collapsed at the
and
bottom of the
collapsed to the
stairs
bottom of the
in a
stairs.
pile because
That's
We
cool.
were
it's
like,
not even that huge a venue, but for us and
Good
the
venue,
fact that
great venue.
it was so packed, and like I was saying about the band on the wall gig, like there's a lot of people I've seen there, and
Yeah.
I've just always wanted to for it to be our show, and it went well, and it was packed, and like that feeling of I think the number of people and the
yeah,
sound,
like hearing people singing back to your songs.
yeah,
Like, and there's one song that got like a bit of an echo, like a kind of like crowd interaction.
Oh, call and
Like they
response
all,
type thing.
yeah,
yeah,
call and
that-
response,
we
and
had
like they
no
were,
idea if that would go well, and in fact with the in-ear monitors in, we lost a lot of that
Yeah.
until I watched a video of it like that later that night that someone had taken, and I was like, God, the crowd are as loud as me with my mic.
Yeah.
I'll give you
And that
a
was
a
mad.
little hack tip that I sometimes do, depending on the size of the show, is take. It depends on if you've got your own engineer as well, because I can imagine it'd be quite annoying. But take a room mic. I usually take like drum overheads, like 2 AKGs, and then point them out to the room, to the crowd, and then put them in your in-ear mix, but you don't
Yeah.
put them out front of house, and then that way you can hear all interaction and stuff like that. It helps massively, because sometimes you're in your own head when you're wearing in-ears.
Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I am.
Yeah,
yeah.
In
it's
my own
strange.
little, own little world, like, oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm playing a gig.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
weird, isn't it?
It is that buzz though.
Yeah, that
And
buzz is
there's a
amazing.
lot to be said for intimate gigs. Like we did a festival. Do you remember the King's Ransom one?
Oh yeah, that
And
was
we
good.
we played on like full band, did a set on this stage, and it was nice. But
Yeah.
were Larkins there then as well?
That was Larkins the year before Larkins got massive.
Yeah. So we played that, and then they had an extra kind of slot, and they were like, "Well, do you want to do an acoustic set?" So kind of at the drop of the hat, I don't know if it was the day before or even on the day, I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Took the acoustic down and played a little acoustic set, and I loved it. And it was the first time I'd done something like that with our songs, and I was kind of having to think on the spot because a lot of my guitar parts aren't chords; they're kind
Yeah.
of picked bits and stuff that give layers. Or
Like
maybe I played
ambience
a
and stuff
synth
like
or
that.
Yeah.
whatever, and it wasn't kind of chords. So I was having to think on my spot of on the spot of like how to make these songs
Yeah.
so that I'm not singing over like a tiny twiddly guitar bit on the top string. But I really enjoyed it, and there's a lot to be said for it, and being that close to people and being able to kind of chat between songs is also
Yeah, that's cool.
really nice.
Very cool. I love it. Final 2 questions. Again, we are running over, so let's see how we get on, because this question is a tough one to answer in a short amount of time, but let's
Cool.
just see what happens. Any advice for new musicians?
Ooh. For me, so I'm actually trained at guitar. Josh has never had a music lesson in his life, so he'd give you a different answer. But for me, I'd just say, like, literally just practice your instrument, never give up. Even them days when you just can't seem to write anything, just keep going, because everyone gets a mental block in terms of trying to write music or lyrics. I'm shocking at writing lyrics, that's why I don't do it. But yeah, just literally just keep practicing and listen to the artists that you like and learn their tracks, and that's how you'll learn to write songs like you like.
Absolutely. Great advice.
That has smashed it. I don't have anything better than that. If you think
Great.
talking about writing songs, the thing that unlocked a lot of songwriting for me was the advice to write about what you know. So I found it so hard to write songs that sounded like the sort of songs I was listening to, and some of the lyrics and some of the kind of hooks, and I could get the vocal riff, but I couldn't write words that sounded like the bands I was listening to, but it's because
Yeah.
they were writing about their own experiences. So I was trying to write things that sounded cool instead of writing the lyrics based on kind of what
Life
I
experience
knew,
or,
what I'd gone through, and there'd be times when if you're writing about a relationship, you get in a nice settled relationship with someone, and you're like, how do I write a song about the fact that I made a cup of tea for my partner, like, and life's kind of too chilled to write cool music, but then you look elsewhere, and a lot of our songs are about changes in life and friendships and other things they're not all kind of love songs or breakup songs.
Yeah.
But they all come from a place of something that means something to me. And that was the point when I realized that, and that was how I should be approaching it. That's how I kind of started writing lyrics that fit to a song, and I felt like I kind of wanted to sing them in front of people because
That's great advice.
they have meaning. So that's mine.
Great advice from both of you. No, great. Both stand up, especially, because I feel like music and lyrics are kind of two separate things. It can be a job in itself, writing lyrics, because you feel probably a little bit more exposed and a little bit more sort of, erring on the side of caution about what you're saying and that kind of stuff. So I think having that advice put in there is really valid. And then obviously when it comes to like learning your craft and things like that, putting the time in to rehearse, it's key. So both very valid points. I love it. Excuse me. Okay, we'll have the final question, which was, are you confident in your abilities, or do either of you feel nervous, insecure in performing? I added words in there because I'm just an idiot, but carry on. That was the general gist of the question.
Okay. Tom?
So I get nerves before playing like live,
Yeah.
but if I didn't get them nerves, I don't think I'd enjoy it as much. They're kind of like, they prove that I want this so badly, and I want to provide the show. Every show is important to me. So I'd say I'm confident with what I'm going to do. I know that we've practiced enough, and that when we go and play a gig, we'll nail it. But I am still nervous.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm insecure. I'd say I'm pretty happy with kind of everything. I do get changed about 3 times before a show. I'm a bit of a prima donna, and I'm not even the front man.
Yeah. And I would say I am not massively confident. I guess because I've never really had guitar lessons or anything like that, I always worry that if there's like a really talented musician in the crowd, he's going to be like, what is this guy doing? What is this meant to be? However, I don't know, like on gig day, you say you get more nervous before it. During a gig and after a gig is just like you feel so on top of the world that you feel like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and any kind of nervousness or insecurities in either your ability or whether this is what you should be doing, or whether I'm singing about the right things or playing guitar in the right way, or whether I should be doing this in my life, it completely goes out the window, and you think, yeah, this is the only thing that matters in the whole world, and I am where I'm meant to be, being here with this guitar. Even because you get to that point when you're on stage where you think, even if everyone in this room left now, I'd still be having a hell of a time.
A great time. Yeah.
So then that stops you worrying about anything,
whether
really.
People leave or not. Yeah.
Because
my nerves come before that first note. That first note you play. As soon as that note's done, I'm happy.
Yeah. I think just to touch a little more on what you said about it's something actually that I've been talking to a friend of mine about. If you know that you've done absolutely everything humanly possible to eliminate all scenarios, any like issues throughout the set that are beyond your control, then you can kind of go into it and just go, whatever happens now happens, because I've done everything I can and I can just enjoy it, and it kind of puts you a little bit more at ease. Whereas if you were to go into the set and just be like, we'll just see, we'll do it on the day, then that's when issues can arise, nerves build up and that sort of stuff. But if you've put the effort in and a string snaps mid-song, that's out of your control. You can't help that,
Yeah, of course.
You might get a little flustered and a little bit like, I've got to fix the problem. But you did everything up to that point that you possibly could to make sure that your nerves were at bay. But yeah, I think you guys, you know your stuff, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed listening to your take on things to do with the music industry and obviously the whole COVID situation. And I've loved hearing your music and stuff, and I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and do this tonight. Any sort of final words to sign off? Anything you'd like to plug or just mention?
I guess, obviously, if you haven't already, go and check out Away From Us, our latest single. If you want to give us a follow on all of our socials, that'd be great. That's the best way to kind of Keep in touch with us. We do have a mailing list on our website. I made that over the whole website over lockdown as well.
Nice.
So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It is a bit scruffy. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, my final comments are thanks, Matt, for having us. It's
No
a
trouble at
great
all.
show, and it's a
Yeah,
great
thanks for
thing
having
to
us.
do. To provide for people an opportunity, like a window into music, is something that I know I would have really appreciated having that available and live and happening right now.
Yeah.
When I was kind of growing up watching bands and thinking, I wonder how all this comes together. I
Yeah.
have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You're giving people the chance to ask the questions, and thank you everyone who's watching for taking the time to enjoy it. And
Yeah.
it's been great.
Thank
We've
you
really
for having
enjoyed
us
being on
and
the
Thank
show.
for
you.
watching us, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Josh, Tom, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off the show now. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in a venue sometime, and maybe we'll play a show again together sometime down the line. We'll just see what happens the whole, in the near future. But I have thoroughly enjoyed tonight, so thank you again, and I'll speak to you both very soon.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thanks for having
Cheers.
us. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.
See you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you also for sticking with us. I know we've run over by nearly 20 minutes, but that's fine. The show's supposed to be totally relaxed and just see where it takes us. I do try to stick to the times, but obviously sometimes it doesn't work like that. If you enjoyed hearing Josh and Tom tonight from Cultures, then head over to their Instagram and their Facebook. They regularly post on there. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much for the continued support for myself, the studio, and this channel. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I am genuinely grateful for it. Once again, thanks for supporting everything I do, and I will see you all tomorrow. I do this every single day at 7. Cheers. Good night.